Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Here I talk about weapons from games, movies and TV series, comparing it with real life, dispelling myths and giving you the most interesting facts about weapons and technologies. If you ask me what weapon I would consider the most legendary throughout the entire Counter-Strike series, it would have to be the AWP or AWP. This rifle was both respected and feared. Just one player with an AWP could carry it around, all due to AWP's main feature: one shot, one kill. Any hit above the waistline is guaranteed to kill the target. The rifle that we see in Counter-Strike is ridiculously powerful, really precise, and makes every single frag a pleasure. So here we had an interesting situation where people often chose the rifle in a game but had no idea what that weapon was like in real life, why it was made like that, or if it's really as cool as it is shown in CS. In this video, we will go over the most interesting facts about AWP in real life, and I will start exposing Valve for what they've done terribly wrong. The thing is that they have been shamelessly lying to us for all these years. The AWP we see on screen is actually a different rifle, since AWP actually stands for Arctic Warfare Police. This is the name of the police version of this rifle. The first difference is that it should be completely black. Second, a shortened barrel, and the third main difference is that it uses different ammunition. But in Counter-Strike, we got the green color, the long barrel, and the 338 Lapua magnum ammo. The actual game of this rifle is AWM, which stands for Arctic Warfare Magnum, but as an old Counter-Strike player, I'm more used to referring to this weapon by the same name as in the game, the AWP, even though that's not exactly correct. There is also another issue on which Valve was incorrect. I'm talking of course about the magazine. The thing is that the 338 Lapua magnum ammunition is pretty large. What I'm trying to say here is that the magazine we see in the game to be able to fit in only 5 rounds. Why am I so sure about this? Because this is what a 10-round magazine looks like. As you see, it's much larger. So Counter-Strike was actually deceiving us for all of these years. But after the recent update, the AWP had a balance fix that decreased the magazine capacity to 5 rounds. So now we are finally back to reality. And now it's time to get into the history of this rifle. AWP was created in the UK in the 1980s. The thing is, at the time, they were still using the Lee Enfield rifle, which has been around since the 1950s. So the British decided it was the right time to come up with something more modern. A company called Accuracy International took on this project. That was when the first version of the famous rifle was created. Back then, it was called the Precision Marksman. The AWP that we love so much in Counter-Strike was created a bit later. At the time when Accuracy International was partnered with Sweden, the Swedes had some rather special demands. Not only did the rifle have to be extremely powerful and precise, but it also had to be able to function under very cold conditions. This begs an interesting question. What kind of harm could some cold possibly do to a sniper rifle? What is the issue here? The issue is pretty straightforward. It's about the action of the rifle, like bolt action. If even a little bit of moisture gets in there, it immediately freezes at low temperatures, which often meant that the action simply got stuck when it got cold. So the creators of AWP decided to modify their rifle's action by basically putting notches on it. This way they significantly lowered the contact surface so the rifle could function even at -40 Celsius. That is why the first 2 letters, A and W, stand for Arctic Warfare. It is basically a weapon of the Arctic. The gun ended up being precise, powerful and extremely reliable, so a bunch of different countries got them for their armed forces. But that's enough history for now. Let's get into the details of this and figure out if this rifle is actually as powerful as we know it from the game. In Counter-Strike, this weapon easily one-shots players as long as you hit anything besides legs. So, did Valve lie about this too? Actually, it's true. This rifle is pretty powerful in real life too. Its muzzle energy is about 6,000 to 7,000 joules, which makes it about 3 times more powerful than an AK. The bullet leaves the muzzle at a speed of about 1,000 meters per second. This is so that the rifle can hit long-distance targets and the bullet still has a lot of power even after a long flight. Plus, it keeps a pretty straight trajectory. Even in real life, there have been cases when an AWP shot hit a target from 2.5 kilometers away. And if we're talking about shooting at shorter distances, the enemy is in for a world of trouble because AWP easily pierces through the majority of standard bulletproof vests. Even if the bullet doesn't manage to go through the armor, it is still going to deliver quite a hit, breaking a few ribs, flinging the target into a 5-foot-long flight and causing some major internal bleeding. In conclusion, the AWP rifle is one hell of a dangerous thing. But now let's remember how it works in Counter-Strike. If we get hit in the leg, That is not a one-shot kill. In reality though, hitting any limb turns it into minced meat, guaranteed. This would definitely make the person unable to fight. Maybe the enemy won't die immediately, but resuming combat will be out of the question. But we need to know if AWP is able to shoot through objects, because back in the days of Counter-Strike 1.6, we could kill the enemy with a single headshot even through 2 walls. By the time CSGO came out, the developers decided that that was too much and lowered the piercing power for all the weapons. But what happens in real life? Even if we shoot a brick wall from a huge distance, the bullet easily goes through it. If you're shooting through a wooden wall, a bullet can penetrate a couple of them. Another thing that AWP in Counter-Strike is famous for is that you can use it to kill 2 players with 1 shot. Would something like that be possible in real life? Of course. It hasn't been tested on living people, but if we use these thick pieces of ballistic gel, the .338 Magnum ammunition deals with them rather nicely. So theoretically, you could take down 2 targets with 1 bullet, but only if they're not wearing bulletproof vests. In that case, the first target would take a serious hit, but the bullet likely wouldn't come out the other side, so the second person would be pretty safe. Overall, the Arctic Warfare Rifle, despite being created in the 1980s, is still relevant and has become pretty widespread all over the planet. Though it isn't supposed to be used for storming buildings but rather for sniping from a big distance, it is a sniper rifle after all, you know. But if we think back to how the AWP is shown in other games, we'll see that they often use it while storming buildings, shooting short distances, doing 360-degree no zooms, and lots of other inappropriate stuff. I hope you all understand that a normal real-life sniper would never be doing anything like that, because in real combat, a sniper rifle is absolutely ineffective at such distances. So any person with an automatic or even a semi-automatic weapon will easily kill a person with an AWP at a short distance. And the precision of no-zoom shooting is not the issue here. It is all about the rate of fire, meaning that AWP in Counter-Strike and other shooters as well is set up in such a way that it is not exactly accurate without a scope. Though in reality, the shots would still be accurate. The issue here is that while you're going to be reloading the rifle after every shot, you'll be shot a dozen times. But you can't really blame this legendary rifle for any of that. It was way ahead of its time by many years and is still popular all over the world, not only in games, but in actual combat too, because Accuracy International was able to create a really exceptional weapon, reliable, powerful, and precise. Overall, a real sniper's dream. However, Counter-Strike has a whole bunch of really interesting weapons that have a rich history, so it would be great to see in the comments, what weapon do you want me to talk about in one of my future videos? Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any future videos. And one more thing, since you watched the video until the end, it would be nice if you click the like button.